We end every episode of On Purpose with a final five. These are a fast five where you have to answer each question in one word to one sentence maximum. So Codie Sanchez, these are your final five. The first question is, what is the best financial advice you've ever heard or received?
That other people's money is actually feasible. People think that passive income is a lie, that getting other people's money is a lie, but they tell you that because they are usually the ones on the other side of the coin. So if you want to see about other people's money, look to private equity and mimic it.
Let's go off piece for a second on that, because I think we didn't touch on that. If you want to raise investment, for people who want to gain investment, maybe you got a cool new idea, maybe you've been tinkering something, got a deck. What should you have if you're going to go and ask for someone's money?
Oh, that's a really good point. It's really simple. A couple tactical things. One, something called a tear sheet or a one sheet. So this is basically like, think about it like a baseball card with all the stats on the baseball card, but for the deal that you're going to put. So it's like, here's why I think it's good. Here's why I think we'll make money. Here's what that's based off of. Here's what a summary it is. Here's why I'm good at it too, and you should invest in me. And here's why I think you should be the one to invest. That's called a one sheet or a tear sheet. The second one is a pitch deck. From Goldman, I learned something called the 3 Ps, which is people, process, performance. So I do that in all my pitch decks, which basically is like, why us? Why should you bet on us? Because at the end of the day, if you're asking for somebody's money, it's about the opportunity for sure, but it's really like, do I want to invest in Jay? Do I believe in Jay? And then second is process. So like, what is the opportunity? What is the way we're structuring this? What are we investing in? What is the process by which you're going to take our money and go bring it back with friends? And then lastly is performance. So if I give you this, why do you think that I'm going to make money? How much money am I going to make? And why should I invest in you instead of all these other things? So if you have those two things, that is the like typical one-on-one for raising money.
Great answer. No, I think it's really important for people to know, because I think so many times we just kind of turn up and hope.
100%. And I wish people would have told me that. It's like sometimes when you have those little easy tactics, you're like, okay, now I feel good. You know, there's more to it than that, but at least you know, like, hey, if I want to drive a car, I need the car and I need some gas. And so now you guys got that.
Yeah. And I think sometimes we're so focused on convincing someone that we have the best idea and not focused on convincing someone we understand how to execute it. And I think anyone who's looking to give you money is looking to whether they think you can execute it. Because I hear good ideas all the time. The best investors in the world hear amazing ideas all the time. And ideas are just not the thing that works. Like, you know, you always talk about like Google was like the 21st search engine. Like they weren't the first search engine. It wasn't a unique idea. It was just that they had a great way of executing and why they've evolved into this mega business now.
Yeah, exactly. Best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So if you can show them you have a history of winning, and even show them some instances where you didn't win, why, and how you're never going to replicate that again, people are going to bet on the hustler who is on a winning streak. You know, oftentimes, right, you know this, if you go to gamble on a game in sports, you don't gamble on the person that's have a losing streak. Why? Because it's actually quite hard to break. And so I think also if you can show a history of winning, and that's a narrative you can frame, you're more likely to get cash too.
That's great. Second question. What is the worst financial advice you've ever heard or received?
That money is scarce and hard to get. If you think money's hard and scarce, then you're probably not going to get it. And I think people want you to think that. And that does not serve you at all.
Question number 3, the best $500 investment you ever made?
Ooh.
Or 2,000, 500, 2,000.
I think this is a little cliche, but health and wealth are super tied. And the best money I've ever spent are probably 2 things: a sauna and a cold plunge. And I know that sounds like super tech bro Twitter, but the truth of the matter is that if I can get a little bit more energy in the beginning of the day, it seems to carry through the rest of my day and make me more money. So whatever your sauna and cold plunges, and I think I bought mine on Amazon for literally like $1,000 each, then that's money well spent.
Great. Question number 4, the biggest waste of money you've ever spent?
Oof.
Not the amount, but like something that was a complete waste.
The biggest mistakes I've ever made are always not things I did or bought, but people I chose. It's always about the people, the good things and the best things. So be careful those you partner with, spend time with, and invest in. and know that those will often be the things that give you the most heartache or make you the most money.
Let's side note on that too. We talked a bit about it before too, but for someone who's like thinking about finding the right business partner, knowing whether you can trust someone, obviously you never know anything. We talked about it. Like, how do you set yourself up for success beyond the negotiation that we discussed?
I have a couple different rules. One rule is you don't get married on the first date. Don't do a deal or start a business on the first date, which means I have a 1-year rule. I do not get into a long-term partnership with anybody that I haven't known for at least a year in business. A lot of times there's this, that rosy phase you have when you're first dating with somebody. You're like, the thing is, we're in love and we were meant to be. And then about 6 months later, you're like, also no. And so same thing with business partners. Give yourself a nice 12-month window. It's hard to hide who you are for a year. The second thing when doing business deals is when you partner with somebody, you don't actually want to partner with somebody that's just like you. It's the same with marriage. It's why dating apps are so tough. I mean, I was talking to Sean Rad about that, the founder of Tinder, the other day. I was like, the thing is, you don't realize what you did, but you allowed people to self-select for people that are just like them. And it turns out the statistics all show that we do not last in marriages as long or relationships as long when our person is just like us. We actually have to have this like creative difference between the two of us. There's a yin to the yang in everything in the universe. And so the studies tell us you need 2 different types in order to succeed long term. And some overlap is necessary, obviously, but you don't actually want to date yourself. It's the same with a partner. Make sure that if you're a great salesperson, you're not pairing it with another salesperson. You got a great operational person and a great salesperson, maybe that works. And the last thing about great partnerships is everything else is figure outable if there is enough drive. And so my father says, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And so I always over-optimize on this idea of desire. Like, why do you want to partner with me? And do I believe that why is so big that we can overcome anyhow? And if your why is like, I kind of want to make a couple dollars on the side, but I might do this, but I might do this, but I might do this, I call you a toe tapper. You're actually not all the way in. You're not fully in with me. And so at our company, we just had one of these people the other day, a young kid, he's a stud, but he came to us and he was like, yeah, I want to do this job with you, but I also have these other things. And once I've interviewed thousands and thousands of people by now. So, I can kind of get to the heart of it. And I remember Tanner was sitting in the interview with me and Tanner's face was just falling as he was listening to it because I was kind of ferreting out a few things. And the young guy was like, well, I have this channel and I want to grow this and I want to do that. And I was like, why do you want to be here then? Like, if you want to do all those other things, like, no, I want to do this too. And we can do it all together. And I said, the thing in life that I wish somebody had told me earlier is when you're starting out, you can never be excellent at multiple things at once. Eventually, you can have excellence in multiple things because you can attract top talent. But in the beginning, you're either all in or you are a barely concealed series of distractions. And so a partnership, make sure they are all in and their why is super, super big. Otherwise, they should go find their why and it's not you.
Yeah, well said. 5th and final question. If you could create one law that everyone in the world had to follow, what would it be?
Oh, God, that's a hard one. Just one law in the world that everybody in the world had to follow.
Take your time.
How would we'd have to think legally about some of the caveats to this. We'd want to make sure we crafted the language correctly in order to not have perverse incentives or second and third order effects. But it would be something to the tune of like, it would probably be something about taxes. It'd be like, don't allow centralization of tax power above a certain amount. And the reason why is kind of technical, but basically, we want to give as much money as possible back to you, the builders. The only way that money and thus freedom is created is from individual humans who build things. Governments cannot build things. Governments can take capital from somewhere else and they can allocate it to other things and equalize. And that is great and wonderful and necessary. But I would be really careful about what I see as like core to our society today, which is, are we allowing too few of people to control too much of us? And it starts with our money. And I know there are lots of other things we could care about when it comes to politics, and that's very important too. But I was in Argentina when they closed my business and made it illegal overnight because they nationalized it. And I have seen countries fall apart at the floor of taxation and nationalization. And so I guess it would be a government is never allowed to nationalize and a government is never allowed to overly tax. And every chance we get, let's believe in the builder and the individual and not the big, huge entity. Like you guys can figure out. You don't need them all the time.
I love it. Codie Sanchez, the book's called Main Street Millionaire. Everyone, make sure you follow Codie on social media if you don't already. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Instagram, TikTok, get the book. Codie, I hope you'll come on many, many more times. It was amazing talking to you. Honestly, you've opened my mind. I'm sure you've blown everyone else's mind. And I want to thank you for doing the work you do and really appreciate how practical, tactical, and accessible that you're making this world of money that's been so hidden and kept aside. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And maybe the only thing, can I add one thing for the audience?
Of course you can.
The only thing I would add is like anybody who is out there building right now, I hope you know how important you are. You know, it is so critical to have builders in this world, and it is so hard, and you're never alone, and you are so necessary, and without you, the world literally stops. And so 3% of Americans own a business. 3%. We need more of you builders out there in the world. And so everything we do is to try to create more humans who have skin in the game, who are creating things with your beautiful brains and your hands. And like, I'm in awe of you. So every time I meet like the laundromat owner, the car wash owner, the entrepreneur that's building something inside of a business, like I just hope you know there's so much dignity in the world, and it's because of the work you do. And without you, you know, it's actually not good to go back to the Stone Age. Like we have all the things we have today because of each of you. And that includes you and building this business. So thank you for having me.
I just want to say that I've appreciated you so deeply offline.
Oh,
And your work online, of course, speaks for itself. It's been so successful, and congratulations. And so to be able to dive into this theme with you that I think is so important for the world right now is a real blessing. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I think, you know, you meet a lot of people in real life that you kind of know online. And so at a certain point, I think you can kind of tell when the human is going to match the human. And that's what I felt with you. So it's cool for the people listening too. You got to question everything. And sometimes you meet people that you look up to and you're like, dang it, you know, not quite what I thought it was going to be. And so like real respect to you for that.
I love it. Thanks, Codie.
Yay.